That's great. Good morning, everyone. I'm delighted to be here to talk to you. And I think what I'm going to do is it sort of does go on the theme that other people have spoken about as well. So just essentially so you know, I work with organizations and individuals across all sectors. But my starting point is always where they are. So I meet the person and I start our conversations or the organization with where they are. And like you, I'm sure I have many tools in my toolkit. But the color energies is one of the ones that is my main starting toolkit, and I just love it. So that's why I wanted to share it with you today. So number of you may well have done DISC or the Myers-Briggs, which is also based on the color energies, but Insights is far more detailed. And having done DISC and Myers-Briggs myself, this is the one that I now use because it works for me. So I'm going to give you a different lens to see differently, to lead differently, and ultimately to grow yourself and your business in a different way. So, have you ever sat by someone at an event who you've just instantly clicked with? Okay. Equally, have you ever sat by someone at an event that you're finding it a little bit tricky to kind of, and there's not that natural connection? Maybe in your current work or in your work previously, there are some of your clients that you really look forward to connecting with, and you look forward to that piece of work because there's loads of ideas and there's buzz, and you come away feeling that you've really made a difference to them. But equally, there might be some you think, actually, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how much I was able to make a difference with them. Well, I used to think, and I think perhaps it was based on my school reports where they used to write that it was just a personality clash, which may give you an indication into what my school reports were like. But I've now come to think actually this is about colour energies. And the colour energies are based on Carl Jung's psychological preferences theories, which I'm not going to talk to you through, but I've put it there because in case it's something you might be interested in exploring further. So let me introduce you to our four colour energies. So you have fiery red colour energy, sunshine yellow colour energy, earth green colour energy, and cool blue energy. And the thing I want to say to you is we all have all four colour energies in us. Okay. What this is about, fundamentally, when I work with clients around this, it's about recognizing which are your dominant color energies, which are your preferred color energies. And a preferred color energy is the one you find easiest to use. Okay. So energy is there because it's about the amount of energy it takes to use that, but you have all four. So if you lead with fire red color energy, generally speaking, you're quite direct. You just say it as it is. You're very determined. You're very competitive in a positive way. Remember, all of these color energies are positives. They're not a negative color energy. You're competitive. You compare your impact by results. Okay, so you may have set yourself your own KPIs, but you compare your impact by results. And you like those fast decisions and those clear goals. If you lead with sunshine yellow, you may be where you bounce into those rooms. You're great at energizing teams and individuals. You love those brainstorming sessions. It's a chance to be creative and get thinking. And you thrive on that interaction. Earth green energy, you're all about the people. You're caring, you're patient, you're very loyal. You really value the harmony in those relationships, and you're brilliant at supporting your peers and your clients. And then if you lead with cool blue energy, you're very much about the detail. In order for you to be able to effectively engage and fully participate in a conversation or an event, you need to know the details first. You love a process because it helps you feel grounded and it's your safe space. So I've just spoken to you about good day color energies. So these are good day color energies are when you're absolutely aware of yourself and you're intentionally showing up in a certain way. We also have our bad day color energies. Okay, and our bad day color energies are when perhaps we're feeling a little bit more stressed or anxious, and we're not as aware of how we're showing up to those people. So on a bad day, your fire red energy may come across as quite aggressive and controlling. You haven't really got time to have those conversations, so let's just get it done. Okay, let's just get that decision made. Let's focus on what we need to do and let's just crack on. Sunshine yellow energy on a bad day can be exhausting for those of us who are in a room with you. Okay, it's like Tigger. You bounce into that room, loads of ideas, you're really flamboyant, you're very excitable. Sometimes you're a little bit indiscreet in terms of, oh my goodness, so and so's just said to me this to me. I can't believe they said that. And then you bounce out, and people are left there thinking, oh my goodness, it's like a whirlwind. Okay. Bad day earth green energy can come across as being quite stubborn, all right, and maybe a little bit reliant on others to make those decisions for you. And bad day cool blue energy can come across as being quite cold and reserved because you don't necessarily have those details for you in order to be able to engage in those conversations. So as I've been speaking, I wonder how many of you have actually been trying to identify yourself against those wheels. Okay, it's human nature. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you 30 seconds to actually try and work out what you think your dominant color energy is. Equally, you may well have, because remember we have all four color energies in us. You may have one or two that you can't decide, or you're actually thinking, well, I think they're all pretty similar. So off you go. Look at your good day and your bad day color energies. Very often people find it easier to recognize themselves on a bad day because there's quite an overlapping of some of the color energies on a good day. Don't overthink it. Go with your gut reaction. Okay, 10 more seconds. Again, just go with your gut. Okay, so let's have just give me a show of hands, either by a digital show or an actual show. Um, who was able to identify their dominant one color energy? Okay, brilliant. Who is in between two? Okay, who's looking at two, not quite sure where they were? And is there anyone who's thinking, actually, I think all four might be quite equal? Okay, great. The thing is that you probably aren't a million miles off, okay, in terms of those of perhaps recognizing your dominant color energy. You will know yourself because you are leaders of your business, but you are also leaders of of individuals. That we don't manage people as leaders, we understand them. Okay, and when we understand where those people are through lots of different lenses, those connections and that opportunity to make more of a difference to more people begins to shine through. In my work, what I've found is my knowledge of the color energies is my starting point. So as some of you have been speaking, and those of you that I know better, in hopefully not too weird a way, but I've thought about where I think your color energies sit. So you can't help but begin to profile people in your head when you get used to them. And what that does is when I'm in a room networking, like at the Amazing Woman Who Awards, or I'm on a course, or I'm in training, or I meet clients for the time, I automatically I stand back and listen and I observe, and then I begin to think about where their color energies are. And the reason I do that, because I know my color energies, and it might well be that I need to dial up a color energy to meet them when they are in their color energy, or dial down a color energy because I'd just be a bit too much for them, or perhaps not meet them at the point where they are. So in terms of those, just those summary, those fire, that fire red color energy is about be seen, be gone. Remember, they're all positive color energies, but it's about let's just crack on and get on with it because they're driven and motivated and passionate. Sunshine yellow energy is about involve me. Okay, it's about come on, let's do this. I love this idea. I've got other ideas. Let's just involve me. Earth green energy lead people want to know you care. They want it's about discussing will land with those people. And the cool blue energy is about those details. So this comes out in all walks of life, not just those face-to-face meetings. So when I'm sending an email to someone I think leads with fire red or cool blue energies, they're very different. So you send an email to someone who lives with fire red energy, and I bullet point. Okay. I give them the key things, the what, the where, the who, and the why, because they don't want to know all the detail. They just want to know what it is I'm asking them to do and when I'm asking them for it back. However, if I send that same email to someone who leads with cool blue energy, they'd really struggle with it. So I need to give them their detail. So actually they can engage in it. There's real equity in terms of their opportunity to engage. And so when you're sending an email to unknown clients, when I'm sending to unknown clients, I make sure there's something in there for everyone. There's some detail for the cool blue. There's opportunity to think and create and feedback for sunshine yellow. There's questions for the earth green people in terms of how do they feel it might sit with X, Y, or Z. And then there's bullet pointed, this is what I'm needing from you. So in order for you to consider and begin to work with this, and I appreciate it's a snapshot, but you can start working with this now. Okay. Really start observing color energies in other people. Think about what you think they lead with based on those key little one sliders. Be seen, be gone, give me the details, involve me, and show me you care. Begin to think about it with your clients, okay? But what I want to leave you with is that your dominant color energy and your energy profile absolutely shapes how you are, how you connect, and how you collaborate. And if you'd like to join me for a face-to-face, the details are on the screen. Okay, I've got a face-to-face coming up in Woburn on the 5th of February. It's a great day. It's fun. Lots going on. I've given a 20% discount to you wonderful individuals today because you're here. But equally, you can follow my QR code and connect with me on my website. Message me on my website if you want to know more, or you can just do your own investigation. Lovely to talk to you. Keep dialing up.
Thank you, Bex. Do you want to leave your last slide on there so that people can connect with that QR code? Do you just want to put that back on?
I will.
Just while
Yeah.
we chat. There are some questions in the chat, which I'm going to find now. Just getting them up. Let me just get the questions. Right, so lots of colours there. I think it wasn't too hard to spot that I was a red, but I did recognise some green tendencies there. But yeah, if anybody here is sending me an email, don't send me War and Peace. Just send me the headlines and I'll pick out what I need. I definitely read the bullet points, and I did recognise some negative bad day tendencies in the red as well. But also I recognised a lot of the green ones for good days. So yeah, I'm a bit in between. So a question here from Debbie Topping. Can you have a lead colour for different situations? For example, I'd say I'm mostly blue, but with some red. On bad days, blue with networking, but red with clients. Not good, I know. Where does frustration come in?
Okay, so Debbie, just to say, so you have all four color energies, and if it kind of what you can do is you can get a profile, you answer some questions online. I'd send you a link, and then all your answer would go into a sort of pot, if you like, and based on 50,000 algorithms, you come up with a 12-page profile. So you have all four. color energies. Now, what it sounds to me like you're doing is you're already effectively dialing up according to where you are. So you can have different color energies on different occasions and depending on the room you're in. Frustration can just be a human thing. I imagine all of the color energies have their elements of frustration, but it is a human thing. But equally, it depends on why you're frustrated as to whether it's a bad day color energy.
Thank you for that. Lisa Archer has asked, can it change? Can your colours change over time?
Absolutely. So when I first became accredited, I just left my previous role and set up my own business. And as I left, I did my color energies, and my color energies were fire red and sunshine yellow. They were my lead color energies because of the work I'd been in. I then did a reprofile a year ago, and my color energies have completely changed. They're far more equal because obviously, set doing my own business, I have to do a lot more around that detail. I have to think about the people because that's the nature of my work. But also that sunshine yellow, which I've spoken with Sandra about before, that sunshine yellow when I'm networking, I have to really dial that up because that wasn't natural to me in terms of being in those unknown spaces and presenting myself as that amenable person. But so now, because I practice all of those color energies on a daily basis, my profile is much more linear. They're all kind of along the line, which is kind of the average. So yes, you can change your profile. You're just creating new habits.
Which leads to Sarah's question. Sarah Harris from Prosper HR. What colour are you, Bex, and how does it help or hinder you?
So I have my cool blue, earth green, and sunshine yellow are all quite similar in terms of the line. My fiery red is slightly lower. But in terms of how it helps me, because they're all quite high, it means it takes less energy to dial them up. So if I'm in a situation then where I'm needing to do a lot of cool blue work, so a lot of detail, I'm not as shattered as I used to be. Because if you don't lead with cool blue energy and you're having one of those days where you have to do your VAT return or you're working on something like a piece of writing, which isn't creative, it's just the fundamentals, you can end up that day absolutely exhausted because you're dialing up that energy all day. The day where the day where I'm having to make lots of decisions and perhaps in lots of meetings and having to sort of firefight decisions in the moments, I have to only limit myself to 2-3 hours of meetings like that because I'm exhausted because I'm dialing up that fiery red, which is a lower color energy for me.
Well, thank you, Bex. Read back through the comments because lots of interaction there and people loved the content. So thank you very much for